So the van wouldn't start again, and I couldn't work out what it was. I tried everything that I knew. I mean, it was like the battery was dead again. So I went through my Haynes manual and just sort of had a quick look through there, and then I went online to a forum, and there was a couple of people that said the same thing. And what it is, that nut wasn't done up very tight, and that little blade male and female was really on tight, and it made it look dirty. So I took it off and cleaned it. Still didn't work, and then so I thought, oh, I'll try one last thing. It was on the forum, and it said to arc a pair of long nose pliers with insulation on, and just arc it across the starter motor. But on this starter motor, it's got a pre-start solenoid. So I kept touching the nut on the solenoid, nothing was happening. And then I opened the pliers, so the mouth of the pliers was open. I put it back in, and it made an almighty spark. Came round, started straight away. So pleased. I'm really happy. It's the silliest, simplest little thing in the world, but I'm so happy that I got it started. I'm well happy about that. I haven't really done much today. It's been raining all day. It's just literally stopped in the last 20 minutes. Good morning. It's Thursday morning, and the French government have decided that tomorrow morning they're locking down the country, and the French lockdown is a complete and utter lockdown. So all restaurants and pubs are all closed. If you want to go anywhere in France from tomorrow, you have to download what's known as attestation, I think it's called, and you then fill it timestamps your times of what time you started your journey, what time you finished, and you only had to go out for an hour. You can go out for exercise, walking and cycling, but in terms of going to the shops or anything like that, you're allowed to be out for 1 hour, and then if you get stopped outside of that time on your sheet, you get a fine, and it's quite a chunky fine as well. I think it's 300 euros or something like that for every time you are outside of the hour. So I've got to leave. So I can't stay on that campsite indefinitely, and the bloke there this morning, when I said to him about the lockdown, he said that he was going to start asking all of his guests to leave anyway, because he couldn't look after them because of the lockdown himself. So if anything goes wrong, he's worried that he can't get out and get things and fix things, and you know, because everywhere's going to be shut. So I'm going to head for Switzerland. There's no lockdown in Switzerland. There's no quarantine. Really lucky. I was reading on the news, not the news. I went onto a few websites last night, and one of them said that there's a quarantine in Switzerland. You've got to quarantine for 10 days. So I thought, well, the only way I can do that is to find an address for a campsite and say I'm going to go there, and I'll stay there for 10 days. So I got the campsite address, and I was then looking through other sites while I was, you know, kind of looking at my route, which way I was going to go to Switzerland. And I found another forum that said the quarantine was ending on Friday, which is tomorrow. So I thought, well, that's amazing. If I can find this campsite for one night, then there's no quarantine. And then on one of the sites on Facebook that I follow, one of the skiing sites, they were talking about the lockdown in France, and is there going to be any skiing, and it's locked down until December, blah 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 blah. And I just put in there, you know, I hope this doesn't stop the ski season. I'm going to head to Switzerland to kind of sit out the lockdown. And one guy said, oh, there's a quarantine. Another guy said, no, that ends on Thursday. So today's Thursday, so fingers crossed the quarantine actually ends today in Switzerland. So if I go in, I haven't got a quarantine at all. Fingers crossed I can get in. They'll, you know, just let me drive in across the border. I can't see there being an issue because I mean I'm coming from one of the European countries. I'm not, you know, not flying in on a plane full of people who could be, you know, coughing. I'm by myself in my vehicle. I've been by myself for a long time. So, and I was juggling between Switzerland and Spain, because if I went to Spain, I could then drive south. I could go all the way to the south of Spain. I could go across into Gibraltar, where Graham, a really good mate of mine, was stationed when he was in the RAF, and then I could drive back out of Gibraltar, top of Gibraltar, if that's possible, and then cross Spain a bit more, then into Portugal. And I've just had a message from a relation of mine. She's Swedish. Her name's Lisbeth. We're distant cousins, you know, from the Elmstrom family. And she said she's got a home in Portugal, and they're going out there for the winter because they just don't want to be cold, and it's nice and warm there, so they're going to go there for the warm winter. And said if I want to go, I'm quite welcome. So that's really cool. And then another friend, Neil, who lives in the south of France, said if you need anywhere to stay, if you want a warm bed and a warm shower and a bit of warm weather for a while, come and stay with us. And he lives on the south coast of France. So I tell you, I've had some amazing people. You really do find out who the people are that think about you, you know, in these times of not need. I'm not in need, but in these kind of strenuous times, you know, COVID and lockdowns, and me getting out and doing this and kind of getting my head in the right place. And I've so much like love and kindness and you know, people just saying, I'm here if you need me, anything I can do, just let me know. And that's just fantastic and amazing. And I thank all of those people for your kind words and comments and kind of pats on the back, and it's wonderful what you're doing, Sean, and all that. It's just amazing. Thank you for all of that. Anyway, so when I get to Switzerland, I'll come back online and we'll talk some more. Okay, have a great day. This is the Swiss border. Just going through. It said stay in the right lanes. I know that's the Swiss border. It's what I remember from coming from the airport going into France when I arrived last year. 2 years ago, sorry, when I arrived 2 years ago. So considering they were saying, you know, quarantine and coronavirus and blah 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 blah, that there was no one at the border. So what I want to do now is find somewhere to stop and just kind of get myself directed to this campsite. Because at the moment I've got my sat nav set for just getting to Geneva. I hate rattly things. We've got something rattling in here. Okay. So that's another. It's my third border crossing in Europe where I haven't stopped or shown my passport. So I went from France into Italy, just drove in, and then from Italy back to France, just went to the tunnel, paid for the tunnel and drove in, and now from France into Switzerland and just drove in. Oh, it's amazing. European borders. Fantastic. So I'm sure they'll clamp down once Brexit comes back on board. Anyway, I'm going to find somewhere to stop and find my directions I need to go in. Okay, that's it for now.